back to the reading of the Medium's book, a book written by Allan Kardec and the spirits. And today we're gonna talk about a fact which is really curious to see explained by the theory of an excited imagination. I wonder how would they explain this. Well, here's a fact still more characteristic and one which we should be curious to see explained by the theory of an excited imagination. This is the fact. A gentleman living in the country would never marry, notwithstanding the persuasions of his family. They were very anxious that he should form an alliance with a lady living in a neighboring town whom he had never seen. One day, while in his bedroom, he was struck with astonishment at seeing before him a young girl dressed in white with a wreath of flowers on her head. She informed him that she was betrothed to him and held out her hand, which he took in his, and on which he saw an engagement ring. A few moments afterwards, she vanished. Taken aback by this strange occurrence, and having assured himself that he was quite awake, he asked the people of the house if anyone had come in during the day, but they assured him that they had seen no one. A year afterwards, yielding to the renewed solicitations of his relations, he made up his mind to go and see the young lady who had been so strongly recommended to him. He arrived in the town where she lived on the day of the Fête de Dieu. All the townsfolk were returning from the procession, and one of the first persons he saw on entering the dwelling of the young lady's family was a young girl, whom he instantly recognized as the person who had appeared to him a year before. She was dressed just as he had seen her, for the apparition, we should have stated, took place on the Fête de Dieu of the preceding year. He was struck dumb with amazement. The young lady, on catching sight of him, uttered a cry of surprise and fainted. On recovering consciousness, she declared that she had already seen the gentleman on that very day the year before. The acquaintance so strangely begun ended in a marriage. All this occurred about the year 1835, before Spiritism had been heard of. And besides, both the gentleman and the lady were extremely prosaic, matter-of-fact people, with imaginations as little excitable as could well be conceived of. It will perhaps be surmised that these persons may have had their minds filled with the idea of the proposed union between them, and that this preoccupation produced an hallucination in both of them. But we must not forget that on the husband's side, indifference had been the predominant feeling, and that it was not until a year after the apparition had occurred that he made up his mind to go and see the young lady in question. Those who would explain the matter as being a case of hallucination are bound to explain the double apparition, for the young lady also saw the gentleman the year before. The coincidence of the festival day and of the costume and the mutual recognition of the parties, circumstances which could not be the product of the imagination. And as a note, they say, as spiritists can assume any forms, as spirits can assume any form, why should they not, for their own purposes, assume the form of persons in the flesh? Well, guys, this is it for today. I hope you guys are liking this reading as much as I do. I leave you with a big kiss. God bless you all. See you next time.